Welcome to Howard's Opinion, the podcast where we dive into the world of sports and share our takes on the latest news and storylines. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm excited to have you join me today. We've got a lot to talk about, but let's start with some NBA news. The Oklahoma City Thunder had an impressive run in the NBA Summer League, but unfortunately, it came to an end on Saturday with a loss to, I don't have the opponent's name right here, but what's interesting is how some of the Thunder's young players performed. Brooks Barnhizer, the team's second-round draft pick, had a solid game with 10 points and 3 rebounds. He's been a standout player for the Thunder throughout the Summer League, showcasing his defensive skills, rebounding ability, and finishing at the rim. However, his three-point shooting still needs some work. Another player who caught my attention is Chris Youngblood. This guy was on fire from beyond the arc, hitting a pair of three-pointers in consecutive possessions during the third quarter. He's been a pleasant surprise for the Thunder, averaging 11 points per game on 46.5% shooting from deep. Could he be a dark horse candidate for one of the team's two-way contracts? And then there's Eric Reynolds the Stew, who scored all 16 of his points in the second half. He's had limited playing time throughout the Summer League, but he made the most of his opportunity on Saturday, going 5 for 12 from the field and 5 for 11 from deep. These young players are giving Thunder fans a lot to be excited about, and it'll be interesting to see how they develop in the coming months. We'll be keeping an eye on them, that's for sure. We'll also be discussing other sports news, including some updates from the NFL and MLB. But for now, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into another fascinating story. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a true Tennessee basketball legend, Ron Slay. This former Vols' determination and perseverance are an inspiration to us all, and I'm excited to share his remarkable tale with you. As you may know, Ron Slay was recently inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, and what makes this story even more incredible is that he did it just after undergoing right knee replacement surgery. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does someone recover from such a major procedure and still manage to walk to the stage without any assistance? Well, let me tell you, Ron Slay's athletic spirit and sheer willpower are the reasons behind this remarkable feat. The 6'8" former Pearl-Con and Tennessee star had his knees put through the ringer during his playing days, suffering an ACL injury in his left knee and a meniscus tear in his right while at UT. But he wasn't about to let that hold him back from celebrating his induction into the Hall of Fame. As Ron himself said, "I put them through it. My knees paid the price. But I wasn't going to let this surgery keep me down." That's the kind of grit and determination we love to see in our athletes, folks. Now, I have to say, Ron's doctor, Gregory Raab, was a bit concerned about him not using a cane or any other assistance during the ceremony. But Ron, being the competitor he is, was adamant that he wouldn't need it. And as he so eloquently put it, "I left all the plastic on the walker. I had a cane. I left the tag on that. I was like, y'all can return all this. I'm telling you I'm not using it." That's the kind of confidence and swagger we expect from our sports heroes. Ron Slay's induction into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame is a testament to his outstanding career and contributions to the world of basketball. And let me tell you, he's in good company. Other notable athletes like Tamika Catchings, Don Grant, and Derek Mason were also part of this year's class. As Ron himself said, "My jaw dropped when I looked at the people I am going into the Hall of Fame with. These are top-notch elite-level athletes. To walk in with them is the ultimate salute." Today, Ron Slay stays busy co-hosting a sports talk radio show and serving as a basketball analyst on the SEC network. And it's clear that he's still got that fire in his belly, folks. As he said, "I am absolutely happy with where I am now. Do I want more? Do I want my name to be synonymous with college basketball? Well, Ron, we think you're already a legend in your own right, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for you. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. Today, we're diving into the world of sports, specifically the WNBA, where a storm is brewing. As we've been following the news, it's become clear that the league is facing several challenges that need to be addressed. Firstly, let's talk about the officiating. Las Vegas Aces center A'ja Wilson made some thought-provoking comments about how the referees need to grow with the game. She's right. As the WNBA continues to evolve and improve, the officiating must keep pace. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has acknowledged the concerns and promised that the league is working hard to make officiating better. However, another issue that's been plaguing the league is the scheduling. The Minnesota Lynx' schedule before the All-Star game was a perfect example of how not to do it. 11 games in 22 days, including back-to-backs and noon starts, is downright ridiculous. And they're not alone. Several teams are facing similar grueling schedules. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why can't the league just adjust the schedule? Well, it's not that simple. The WNBA has to compete with other sports for attention, and overlapping with college football or the NBA is a concern. But perhaps it's time for the league to prioritize itself and find a solution that works for everyone. Roster expansion is another topic that's been on my mind. With only 156 roster spots available, it's tough for players to make the cut, and teams often have to rely on hardship contracts. Maybe it's time for the WNBA to consider adding more roster spots or even expanding the league further. Lastly, transparency is key in any professional sports league. The WNBA needs to be more open about fines, officiating, and other decisions that affect the game. By being more transparent, the league can build trust with its fans and players. As we wrap up today's episode, it's clear that the WNBA has some work to do. But with the support of its fans and the dedication of its players, I'm confident that the league will continue to grow and thrive. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts.